Hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, where this time I will review a very capable audio player at its price point, and this is the Hiby RT Pro Saber version. Just for information that the Hiby RT Pro has two versions. The regular version is using a Cirrus Logic DAC, while the Saber version is using ESS Saber deck. So yeah, it sounds a little bit different from the regular version. It is said that this version is more suitable for rock music and a little bit more aggressive kinds of music. Honestly, I haven't heard the regular RT Pro version, but this one is really capable of doing a lot of things. Okay, and this time I'll review this RT Pro from its build and the user experience feature, also sound and comparison. Okay, let's just get started from the build itself. Personally, it builds like a tank. It's really good. I mean, take a look at the body itself. It is made of metal. Yeah, it is made of metal, definitely, with glass in front and on the back side of it. So it definitely feels like a high-end smartphone. And also on the top side, you could see that it has two kind of plug. This is the headphone out, and you can also use this as the line out, and you get this 2.5mm balanced plug. While on the left side is the volume button, is up and down volume button. Also on the right side you get this on off and some play and pause button, previous song and next song. Also on the lower side you will get this micro SD slot and this USB Type-C charger, so USB Type-C plug. So yes, this is very compact but really functional. From the build itself, it is already excellent. And I'm not gonna say about the spec because you could see the spec and the website or wherever you want to search. Just type Hiby R3 Pro Saber and you will find the spec. But in this review, I will tell you about how I use them these days and what are the great function I found in the user experience. Like, for example, I found that this form factor and this kind of touchscreen is really good for daily use. I mean, the touchscreen itself is really good. It is bright and you could see that the album art is definitely bright and clear, and yeah, definitely really good. And also the size is definitely just right in my hand, and even the button itself is really easy to reach. And yeah, you just, with this kind of weight, you could just definitely use them and just put them in your pocket, whether it's in your trousers or whether it's your pants. Yeah, it's just really good. It's compact, it's really lightweight, and it packs a lot of feature. And also it is really versatile. You can use this as definitely audio player, and you could also this as a transporter, meaning if you have a external DAC just like this one I have here, this is the i5 XDSD, I could use the Hiby R3 Pro Saber just for transporter. I give the file music here and then I play them using the i5 XDSD here. And then also you could use them simply as DAC amp using your phone. So you just plug USB Type-C to USB Type-C and it will become your DAC amp. And also this could be used also as Bluetooth transmitter or Bluetooth receiver. Yes, it is two-way Bluetooth. So I guess yes, this is just a very compact audio player with a lot of function. It truly packs a lot of function here. And the good side is also it has amazing battery life. From the spec itself, it is written that it has 1600 milliamp hour battery and standby time is 19 hours. And from my user experience, of course I don't hear non-stop 19 hours music. I never do that. Maybe for a day I could hear for 4 to 5 hours, and let me tell you that I have from experience, I only charge them around 4 or 5 days during the execution time. I always use them every day, and then I only charge them after I use them around 4 or 5 days, which is really excellent. And also it also has a really good power. Output voltage or output power, both are really good. So yes, it could definitely give some juice to not really heavy headphones, I think, and a lot of IMs. Yes, almost a lot of IMs. This is definitely enough for giving them some juice to power them. So from the function itself, I think this is a complete package. It has touchscreen, a very good touchscreen. It has a bright screen here, and also a lot of functional button, and it also has great battery life. You could also even streaming using this Hiby, using the Tidal, of course. So how it comes when it comes to the sound? How is it when it comes to the sound? Honestly, I have compared them to some of my other player here. This is the iBasso DX160, and this is the X2O X10, and my iFi XDSD, also the QDLX 5K. And from my experience, from my conclusion, I compared them all, and this Hiby R3 Pro Saber, it's definitely, I'm not saying that it is the brightest of them all, but it's a little bit colder when it comes to the mid-range. Okay, let me tell you that I could definitely categorize this Hiby i3 Pro as a energetic sounding audio player. When it comes to the bass, I found that it has a good punch, it has a good bass thump. In every kind of song, you will not miss that bass note, that thick bass note, and it is also very quick, but not and never bloated for my IMs or my experience. And when it comes to the mid-range, I'm not saying that it's cold, it is thin, but I need to say that compared to especially my other source here, whether it's a DAC amp, Bluetooth receiver, another player like X2X10 or iBasso, I find that this Hiby i3 Pro is definitely a little bit thin sounding when it comes to the mid-range. When I hear some really good male vocals, like for example like Il Divo or Josh Groban, for my perspective, this Hiby i3 Pro is a little bit thin sounding, not as thick as I want to, not as balanced as I want to when I hear them in this iBasso DX160. But nevertheless, it never sounds harsh for my ear. It's just a little bit thin, a little bit energetic. And when it comes to treble, actually it doesn't really give some bright, thin sounding treble here, but on the other side it is quite smooth for my ears, and even it's not actually really extended. The most bright part is maybe from the mid-range itself, because it is a little bit thin, but when it comes to the treble, I don't find it really extended and sparkling, because I found even the warmer iBasso DX160 has a little bit better extension and sparkle on the upper ends. So yes, this is an energetic audio player when it comes to the bass and also the mid-range. I'm not gonna recommend you to pair them with some bright sounding IEMs like the TNT2 Plus or the DQ SM Hermit. I won't recommend them, but if you want a more balanced sound, yeah, I could recommend you using some warmer IEMs like maybe the Blonde BL03 or just something like that. And when it comes to technicality itself, I found that it's quite good, especially when it comes to the black background. I found no hiss or whatsoever through all of my IEMs, and yeah, it's not really wide in soundstage or giving a really depth good depth, not really. It's just a subtle three-dimensional imaging here. And if you want better separation and better resolution, also better sound stage, you can just use the balanced plug here. But let me give you some warning that I perceive some tonal change when it comes to the single-ended and then you change to the balanced version. The balanced version is more thin. It is definitely clearer, it's definitely more quicker, it's more separated, it is more good, it's better in resolution, but you lost a little bit of thickness there. Even though the single-ended itself, the mid-range is quite a little bit thin for my ears, but the balanced version, the balanced plug, take a little bit more from a little bit more warmth from the mid-range and make it definitely brighter sounding audio player. So actually I don't really like how it sounds when it comes to the balanced version, even though it definitely gives you better separation. But again, when it comes to the tonality, it is very subjective, and you can actually give them some equalizer to balance that kind of tonal. So okay, in the end, for me, this Hiby R3 Pro is definitely one of the best audio player in its price range. It is only around 200 bucks, but the form factor, the feature, the sound, the power, also the battery life, it's all really worth it. It's all really good. I could use them for hours for my daily use, for my daily needs, and yeah, it's just, for me, it's just really good for daily use. Also, definitely this doesn't give you some perfect audio performance here, or maybe you don't really like the tonality of it, but compare them all, using them for these days, yeah, this Hiby R3 Pro Saber version is definitely recommended for its price. Okay, I hope you like this review. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.